Guys, The Rock just shocked the world. For decades, Dwayne Johnson has been the ultimate symbol of muscle, power, and Hollywood dominance. I mean, this is the dude who's made a career out of being bigger than life itself. But recently, he stepped out at the Venice Film Festival, and fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. The Rock looked completely different, slimmer, leaner, like he had shed 60 pounds of that iconic mass. And immediately, the internet went crazy. People were firing off memes, conspiracy theories, even health scares. But here's the twist. The Rock has finally broken his silence about what's really going on. And trust me, it's way deeper, way more emotional, and way more shocking than anyone could have predicted. In fact, this might be one of the boldest moves of his entire career. I've been staring at The Rock's cheat meals longer than I'd like to admit, so hit that subscribe button before I lose all self-control.
Let's set the scene. Venice Film Festival. You've got A-listers walking the red carpet, the cameras flashing, everything looking glamorous as usual. And then The Rock steps out. But here's the thing, he doesn't look like The Rock we've known for years. No towering 300-pound action hero physique. Instead, he looks almost unrecognizable. Slimmer face, leaner build, maybe around 240 pounds. 60 pounds gone. It's like if Superman suddenly walked in wearing Clark Kent's suit. The internet didn't waste a second. Photos went viral instantly. People were like, wait, what happened to The Rock? And because we live in the age of instant takes, the theories started flying faster than ever. Now, we gotta talk about the internet's reaction because it was wild. On one side, you had the jokes. People tweeting, The Rock turned into the Pebble. Another one said, bro went from Black Adam to Slim Adam. Classic internet humor. But on the other side, there were legit concerns. Fans worried about his health. Some were convinced he must be hiding a serious illness. Others swore he finally came off steroids. A few even suggested something extreme, like artery blockages. And let's be real, when a celebrity changes their look this drastically, people assume the worst. It was like everyone had a theory and everyone wanted to be the first to call it.
But behind the memes and speculation, there was a genuine sense of confusion. Because when someone like The Rock, whose whole identity is tied to size and strength, suddenly looks different, people don't know how to process it. The Rock isn't just another actor. His body has literally been part of his brand for decades. Think about it. From his early days in WWE as the People's Champ, to starring in The Scorpion King, to dominating the Fast and Furious franchise, the guy has always been marketed as the biggest, strongest dude in the room. His Instagram gym posts? Legendary. His cheat meals? Iconic. He's basically the poster boy for hard work, discipline, and outwork everyone energy. So when fans saw him smaller, it wasn't just surprising. It was almost like the brand they'd known forever had changed overnight. The Rock without the mass? That's like Batman without the cape. After weeks of speculation, The Rock finally addressed the elephant in the room. And he didn't dodge, he didn't sugarcoat, he revealed the truth. And the truth is, this transformation was intentional. Every pound he dropped was calculated. He wasn't sick, he wasn't hiding, and he definitely wasn't losing his edge. Nope, this was a career decision. He slimmed down because he's starring in one of the most personal, raw, and demanding roles of his life, playing MMA legend Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine. For The Rock, this wasn't just another paycheck role. This was about stepping into someone else's life, someone whose story is dark, complicated, and emotional. And to do it right, he had to transform himself completely. Quick sidebar, if you don't know who Mark Kerr is, this is important. Kerr was an absolute beast in the early days of MMA, a two-time UFC heavyweight tournament champion, nicknamed the Smashing Machine. But his story wasn't just about victories. He also struggled with addiction, painkillers, and the brutal reality of what the fight world can do to you. His life is a mix of triumph and tragedy. For The Rock to play him, he couldn't just show up looking like a Hollywood action figure. He had to look and feel like a real fighter from that era, leaner, meaner, and more human. That's why the transformation was necessary. The size had to go. Authenticity mattered more than aesthetics. So how did he actually do it? We're talking 60 pounds of muscle and mass gone. For a guy like The Rock, that takes insane discipline. First up, diet. Remember those legendary cheat meals with stacks of pancakes and sushi? Yeah, those were gone. Instead, it was strict calorie deficit. Every single meal tracked, weighed, and measured. Lots of lean protein, controlled carbs, and almost no processed foods. Basically, eating like an MMA fighter cutting weight, not like a Hollywood star bulking for a blockbuster. Then the training. Normally, The Rock's routine is pure bodybuilding. Heavy lifts, isolation work, always chasing size. But for this, he flipped the script. More cardio, conditioning, high-intensity intervals, fight drills, stuff that burned calories fast and built endurance. He wasn't training to look big on camera. He was training to move like a fighter. And here's the surprising part. He even talked about gut health. For the first time, he said he was focusing on feeling good internally, not just looking good externally. For someone whose identity has always been tied to size, that's a massive mental shift. What's fascinating is how the truth completely shut down the rumors. People said, "Oh, he must be sick." Wrong. He finally stopped steroids. Wrong. He's losing his mojo. Wrong again. The reality, this was about respect. Respecting the role, respecting Mark Kerr's story, and proving he could transform himself not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. And honestly, that's even more impressive than bulking up for another action flick. Because slimming down at 52 years old, when your body's been used to one identity for decades, that takes guts, humility, and courage. This role is deeply personal for The Rock. He's called it one of the most emotional experiences of his career. Think about it, stepping away from the safe zone of blockbusters where he's always the invincible hero to play a man who struggled, who fell, who was vulnerable. That's a huge leap. And the response? Insane. At Venice, his performance got a 15-minute standing ovation. People don't clap that long unless they're moved to their core. For The Rock, that wasn't just about the role. It was about proving to himself and the world that he's more than just muscles. But let's be real, there was one elephant in the room that fans and critics couldn't ignore: the steroid accusations. Whenever a celebrity with The Rock's kind of mass suddenly drops 50 or 60 pounds, whispers start flying. Was he really natty all along? Did he finally come off the so-called Hollywood cycle? Internet forums lit up with debates, with some swearing his weight loss was proof he'd been juicing for decades. Others defended him, pointing to his insane work ethic, discipline, and genetics. The Rock himself has always denied using steroids. In past interviews, he admitted to experimenting briefly in college, but claimed he never relied on them. Still, speculation never fully went away, and this transformation gave conspiracy theorists fresh ammunition. But here's the catch, this isn't the first time his body has changed. WWE fans have seen it firsthand. In the late 90s Attitude Era, The Rock was big, but not superhero big. Then in the early 2000s, as he transitioned to Hollywood, he slimmed down for the Scorpion King and Walking Tall. Later, when he returned to WWE in the 2010s, fans got action figure Rock, veins popping, traps like mountains, peak size during Fast and Furious and Hercules. So when fans saw him lean down at Venice, it wasn't unprecedented. The Rock has always adjusted his physique for the role, the moment, the stage of his career. And speaking of stages, this transformation comes right after the Black Adam Backlash. That movie was supposed to be his crown jewel, the superhero empire he'd been building toward for years. But instead, it underperformed. Critics slammed it, and behind-the-scenes drama exposed how aggressively he tried to control DC's future. Then James Gunn came in and reset the entire universe. Suddenly, The Rock wasn't at the center anymore. That failure stung. Fans mocked him, memes roasted the hierarchy of power line, and his carefully cultivated Hollywood dominance looked shaky. So some believe this reinvention, leaner physique, rawer roles,
isn't just about acting, it's about rewriting his narrative after that very public stumble.
Meanwhile, internet culture had a field day. TikToks comparing The Rock versus the Pebble went viral. Twitter threads joked about him joining The Biggest Loser. Fitness influencers analyzed his new frame like it was a science project. But here's the genius. The Rock leaned into it. He laughed at the Pebble jokes, reposted memes, made self-aware comments. By owning it, he flipped the narrative. Instead of being a celebrity under fire, he looked like a man in control.
Zoom out, and this transformation puts him in the same league as actors like Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey, even Sylvester Stallone, men who risked everything by reinventing their bodies for serious roles. And now, The Rock is showing he can do the same. For decades, his brand has been built on being larger than life. Movies, wrestling, even his tequila brand, all wrapped in that hardest worker in the room image. By slimming down, he risks shaking that brand. Will fans still see him as The Rock without the bulk? Or will they embrace this new, more vulnerable version? Based on the standing ovation and the online buzz, it's paying off. People aren't just seeing a blockbuster star anymore. They're seeing an artist, someone willing to evolve, even when it means breaking the mold that made him famous.
And that's the shocking truth. The Rock didn't lose weight because he had to. He did it because he wanted to, because he believed in a story bigger than himself. From steroid whispers to WWE transformations, from Black Adam's failure to Hollywood redemption, this is more than just a body change. This is a brand transformation. And whether you love it or hate it, one thing's for sure, The Rock is far from done shocking the world. So what do you guys think? Do you like this leaner Rock, or do you want to see him bulk back up to the action hero we're all used to? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so I can keep making these deep dives into your favorite celebrities. Until next time, see you in the next one.